Stop saying because of this, because of that. Guys, in the English language, there are many other phrases, advanced English phrases you could use to better write essays, hold presentations, demonstrate cause and effect when speaking in English. In this video lesson, I will teach you over 15 new phrases and expressions to use instead of always saying because in English. Now, if this is the first time you're here on my YouTube channel, welcome. My name's Adriana from EnglishTeacherAdriana.com. I help English learners improve their English, boost their confidence to finally speak English confidently. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on notifications so that you know you get that bell when I post my next video lesson here to help you improve your English. Guys, in this video lesson, we'll be going through many phrases, many examples, which you should be using, and to help you remember them, I suggest that you use and apply the shadowing technique. While you're watching this video lesson, make sure to say, copy, imitate out loud with me to help you remember and use these new phrases and expressions when speaking in English. Go and find yourself a quiet corner, and let's begin with the first phrase you could use instead of always saying because. Now, a word you could use instead of the word because is the word as. For example, he didn't accept the job offer as he read bad reviews of the company online. So here we can see as being used as a direct synonym. So word to replace because in these example sentences. This is great to be using in spoken form, so if you're holding a presentation, and you can also use it in written form to just stop saying because all the time. Careful pronunciation, as. But if you're writing or you're speaking and you'd like to say because of someone or something, a better phrase you could use in this example is a phrase as a result of. As a result of. For example, as a result of their actions, we are forced to take them to court. So here, instead of saying because of, we are using as a result of. It's a great synonym to be using examples like this. Careful pronunciation, as a result of. As a result of. But if you need to be a little bit more informal, so express that something will happen, something will occur, provided something else has happened. For example, in the sentence, because you're going to the shops, can you buy me some milk? Now here, instead of using the word because, we could use the phrase as long as. As long as you're going to the shops, could you please buy me some milk? So here we are talking about the fact that you're going to the shop and the result because you're going there. So as long as you're going to the shops, could you buy me some milk? Please note, guys, that this is very informal, great to be using with friends, family, people that you have a good relationship with, and it is often used in conversational settings. Careful pronunciation, as long as. As long as. But a more formal phrase you could use instead of as long as is the phrase being as. Being as. For example, being as you're going to the store, could you please buy me some milk? So this is great to be using with people that you don't have a good relationship with. It is very formal. I don't use it quite often, but many English speakers do in formal settings, and it's a great phrase to be using in a work setting with people that you don't have a good relationship with. Careful pronunciation, being as. Being as. But a phrase that I do use quite often and also has a similar meaning to as long as and being as is considering that. For example, considering that you're going to the shops, could you please buy me some milk? You'll hear this phrase being used in a lot of TV shows and movies. It's used a lot in everyday conversational English. So if you would like to ask somebody to do something because they're going somewhere, considering that is a great phrase to use. Careful pronunciation, considering that. Considering that. Also, a very similar phrase to considering that has the same meaning is a phrase seeing that. Seeing that. For example, seeing that you're going to the store, could you please buy me some milk? This is a great phrase to be using in everyday conversations instead of because. Careful pronunciation, seeing that. Seeing that. But if you need to be more formal than because of, a great phrase to be using in this setting is a phrase due to. This is a great phrase to be using in written form, in essays, in email correspondence, at work, to just not overuse because of. If you need to spice it up, use this phrase. I use it a lot, and I recommend that you start spicing up your writing at least by using this phrase. For example, due to the recent changes in the market, we are currently not hiring. So notice here how we're using due to specifically explain why something will or won't happen. Here in this situation, we're talking about the fact that we won't be hiring, but we could also change a sentence up. For example, due to the recent market changes, we will be hiring. So here, if you would like to explain why something will or won't happen and explain this action, it's a great phrase to be using instead of because of to spice up your English. Careful pronunciation, due to. Due to. Now, a more formal phrase than due to is the phrase owing to. Owing to. Again, this is a synonym of the phrase because of. For example, owing to the recent changes in the market, we will not be taking on new staff. So here again, we're using owing to and stating what has happened and the result that has occurred after this. It could happen or it couldn't happen. Same meaning as due to and because of. This is a great phrase to be using in essays, in emails, in reports, especially for preparing for proficiency exams. Spice it up a little bit. Owing to is very professional. You can use it in some presentations. It is very formal. If you feel comfortable using it, go ahead and use it. Careful pronunciation, owing to. Owing to. Now, if you feel very poetic, a really formal way of expressing because is simply by using the word for. Now guys, it'd be a little bit strange if you use for in everyday conversations. I never use this, but when I do see it in poems, in songs, in literature, I know that it means because, and you should also know that this means this. For example, let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. So this is a really nice poetic way to express because in English. Careful pronunciation, for. Now another really formal way of expressing because is by using in as much as. In as much as. Guys, this is really formal. I never use it, but you may come across this in literature, in reports that you're reading. It's great to know, and if you feel comfortable using it, go ahead and use it. For example, you'll improve your English in as much as you practice. Careful pronunciation, in as much as. In as much as. Another really formal, also very proper phrase is a phrase in view of the fact that. For example, in view of the fact that you've been practicing your English, I'm sure you'll achieve fluency very soon. So here guys, this is a really formal, very proper way of expressing because. I don't use this ever. Some English speakers do. If you feel comfortable using this phrase, go ahead and use it, but it is good to know as you may come across this in literature, in books, and maybe see it while you're at school. But it is a good alternative to keep in mind to improve your vocabulary. Careful pronunciation, in view of the fact that. In view of the fact that. Now, a really informal phrase you could use instead of because to express cause and effect is the phrase now that. Now that. This is really great to be using in everyday conversations with people that you know really well, you have great relationships with. For example, now that you've arrived, let's start the meeting. So here you could say because that you've arrived, or now that you've arrived, let's start the meeting. Careful pronunciation, now that. Now that. Now, if you need to use because for explanations of emotions or feelings, then you could use a phrase out of. Out of. For example, out of rage, she hanged up on me. So for example, I called Mary and just out of rage, she just hanged up. Here, I could say because she was angry or because she felt angry. Out of rage is very advanced. It sounds very professional, and it's a great phrase to be using if you're writing stories, writing essays, in formal situations you may find yourself in. Careful pronunciation, out of. Out of. Now, the next word you could use instead of because is probably really confusing for you guys, but I'm just going to touch base on this. And that word is since. Since. This is really informal. For example, I didn't go to the movie with her since she cancelled at the last minute. Now here, since is being used instead of because. So a lot of English speakers use this in everyday conversations. I use this a lot. And if we simply use it instead of because as a synonym. It is very informal. I don't suggest that you use this in written correspondence, in emails, but it is great to know that this means because in certain contexts. But please pay attention when you're reading something, when you're listening to people, pay attention to the context and if there is some sort of cause and effect in that situation. Careful pronunciation, since. Since. Also the phrase thanks to can mean because in some situations. Now, if you're confused about this, stress less, because thanks to can have a positive connotation and also a negative connotation. For example, thanks to Mary's hard work and dedication, she was able to win the race. So here, thanks to is being used in a positive connotation. So here, because of her hard work and her preparation, she won the race. But we can also use it in a negative connotation. For example, thanks to my husband sleeping in, we weren't able to see her win. So here, thanks to is being used in a negative connotation because we really wanted to see Mary's race, but my husband slept in. And here it's being used in a negative way to express because of. You will hear this used a lot in TV shows, in movies, in everyday conversations. Be aware if there's a positive or a negative connotation. It is a great phrase to be incorporating when speaking in English, and also pay attention to the intonation that you use depending on the connotation. Careful pronunciation. Thanks to. Thanks to. You could also use the word through. To be very polite and very proper, this is really good to be using in written form when we're talking, when reporting on certain events. For example, through the government's recent initiatives, unemployment was reduced by 2% in the last 2 months. So here, this is a really formal way of expressing because of, just simply by using the word through. Again, we're stating what happened and we're talking about the cause and the effects. Careful pronunciation, through. Remember guys, that practice makes perfect. Make sure to watch this video lesson a few times. Use and apply the shadowing technique. Listen, repeat, say out loud all these examples, all these sentences to help you remember and use them when speaking in English. Let's take it one step further now by completing a homework task together. Watch this video lesson for a third time. Choose 5 new phrases and use them in a sentence in the comments below this video. Remember guys, if you like this video lesson, please do let me know by smashing that like button. Like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so that you know you get that bell when I post my next video lesson here to help you improve your English. Continue learning with me by downloading my free audio guide where I share with you exactly what you need to be doing every single day to drastically improve your confidence speaking in English. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in my next lesson. Bye for now.